Hi, my name is Abby Kirkpatrick, and I'm going to be interviewing my mom, Della Kirkpatrick. What is your background in education?
Currently, I am in my 25th year in education. I spent 23 years in the classroom teaching grades K through 8, and the last 2 years I have been the instructional coach at Newton County Theme School.
What are your beliefs about language diversity in the classroom?
Well, I believe that if teachers approach teaching standard English with a change of heart and an open mind, that all learners can gain proficiency.
What are the problems with viewing students through the lenses of traditional language arts?
Well, teachers generally look at students through a very traditional lens. And they assume that if a student is speaking broken English, that they're a broken student and that they are not going to be successful at standard English. But we have found that native dialects and languages can be used as tools for teaching the similarities and differences between their social languages and the formal language that they need at school. We might be the problem. If we're the problem, then students are never going to be successful. So we're going to have to find a way to help these students be successful.
What can teachers in the 21st century do to help students be successful in English language arts classes?
Well, we use a strategy that's called code switching. And I'm going to show an example of how it can be used to teach African American students how to take what they know about their cultural dialect and analyze it and apply it to standard English. So we know that students often just need extra support so that they can become proficient. And we have found that informal English that's spoken by African American students, it follows a lot of the same complex rules of any given language. So if we can find patterns and similarities between their informal English and standard English, we can teach them a process called code switching. And what I mean by that is we can teach them to compare and contrast their traditional social language that they speak at home or with their friends to what's needed to be successful at school. So you can see here that we're looking at some possessive patterns. So in informal English, it's not uncommon to hear students say or students read, "Taylor cat is black," whereas the student may really need to write or read, "Taylor's cat is black." The second example says, "The boy coat is torn," instead of "the boy's coat is torn." Or "a giraffe neck is long," instead of "a giraffe's neck is long." So we can analyze and we can look at patterns between their social English and standard English. So the pattern that we find here in the sentences is we have an owner and we have what is owned, which is a noun plus a noun. Now for formal English, we just need to take that owner and add an apostrophe S to it. So then we have the owner with an apostrophe S, and we add that to what is owned. So we have the noun with an apostrophe S plus a noun. So if we teach them to look for these patterns, we can teach them to basically code switch and switch back and forth between their social or informal English and standard or formal English. Now, code switching is, it's metacognition. And what we mean by metacognition is the knowledge of one's own thinking processes. So you're thinking about what you're thinking about. You're aware of what you're thinking about. So after comparing and contrasting the rules of standard English and informal English, students can learn to actively code switch and they can be taught to assess the time, place, the audience, and the communicative need, and intentionally provide the appropriate language style for that setting. So if they're in school, they learn that they need to use standard English. If they're at home or they're on the playground, then it's okay for them to use their informal English.
What are implications if teachers do not change the way that they teach?
Well, if teachers don't have an open mind and approach student learning, that they can be successful and we can take what they already know and provide supports, then we're not going to see changes. And specifically, we're going to keep getting what we've always gotten. And right now, African American students are overrepresented in special education classes. And unfortunately, they are underrepresented in gifted and advanced classes. So we don't want to perpetuate the assumption that broken English is equal to broken students, because in fact, we're going to create these broken students if we don't give them the supports that they need.
And that is the end of my presentation.